Hi everybody, welcome. You never guess where we are. We're in Yarm.
Is that the original name?
Yarm.
Right.
It means a pool where people fish, and that was its original name. Now Yarm, over the years, has become the fabulous. This is a wonderful town, Yarm. Never quite sure whether you call it Teesside or whether it's the North Riding of Yorkshire.
I know.
Because it's one of those
North
bordery
Yorkshire,
pubs.
isn't it, sort of thing?
Yeah, it's Yarm. Anyway,
It's Yarm.
that's the main thing. This place was mentioned in the Doomsday Book in 1092. So it's got a history. It's got a great history. The Vikings were here. The Vikings, an amazing one-off here. The Vikings came here, and it was one of the places in the 900s that they chose because the River Tees, that goes, or Teesside I suppose, the River Tees goes round almost like the river does on the opening to EastEnders. You know, it goes up and right round, and there's a bridge in the middle, and we're standing on that bridge now. It's directly behind Hollywood McShane, who's got his patina light hat on.
Patina?
And that's the bridge over. But the bridge is wider now than it used to be. And I've got a story to tell you about that once we start heading into Ghostville, because ghosts galore in this particular area. So, the Viking story though, they found a Viking helmet here, and there's only two Viking helmets, and not with horns in. The Vikings didn't have hats like that. Only two Viking helmets ever found in all of Europe.
Really?
You find them in Scandinavia.
Right.
The rest of Europe, they never leave a helmet behind. Which, hey, you can't argue with that. But there's only two being found. It's known as the Yarm helmet, and only the second one in Europe. The only one in Britain, which I think is amazing.
Really amazing.
Great stories. This used to be a toll bridge. It was the doorway into what is now Yorkshire. It had a drawbridge on it, an amazing drawbridge. And talk about stories, and they're great stories. Make sure you share this feed, please. You will win yourself one of our illustrious Night Owl badges and a night in bed with Kenny here.
That is something to win.
It is. He's not very sexy, but as a hot water ball,
Yeah, I'm good at that.
it's pretty bad because he's a bit sweaty. Now, the truth of the matter is you'll win that and you win some other stuff that we put together for you. Not a worry. But share, please. It would help us a lot. Now, drawbridge. Anybody coming here bringing sheep had to pay the toll, otherwise they couldn't get to sell in what is now Yorkshire. Beyond that, back in the day of the English Civil War, a munitions supply landed at Tynemouth for the Royalists. And what they did, they were going to bring it across here because the Royalists were based in Yarm.
Right.
It landed at Tynemouth and it came down by cart. The Roundheads found out about it. 400 of them came here to grab the munitions and take it for Oliver Cromwell. The Roundheads here rallied, heard about it, notified all the other Roundhead groups, and massacred 400 Roundheads right there on the bridge. Now, talking ghosts, true lovers walk. Come this way.
So this is a bridge over troubled waters, isn't it? Definitely.
It is.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But if you're looking for ghosts and spooks, and you want to come to a place here in Yarm, cafeterias, pubs, beautiful restaurants, but this place has a story, and it's attached to a church that we're going to visit called St. Mary Magdalene's. So, come down here.
Cool.
It's amazing that just 2 minutes away from like the busy street and everybody's normal lives, you just come through here. You saw that one coming.
Yeah.
And
Never go up a back alley with Alan.
that's a fact. Now, if you have a look here under the bridge, you'll see two bridges. There's this bridge on that side,
Yeah.
and there's this bridge on the other side. It's been doubled in size because obviously when modern vehicles needed to come across to and fro, you needed two lanes. However, back in the day, it was this wide.
Right.
I think that's actually the old side, this side. This is the old side, that's the new side. And this is just wide enough for a cart or carts to get across, coming one way at a time.
That makes sense.
But when cars came, they had to stick another side to it. Let's head. This is
Because it looks darker down
Lovers
the bottom.
Walk. What's it all
Oh,
about?
God, look at that one.
Amazing
Right next to the
story.
river.
In the
Viaduct.
churchyard, or should I say in the church of St Mary Magdalene, Yarm, there's a tomb called the Two Lovers Tomb. Now, it was two very rich young people who got married
as you
and
can
they were
probably see-
murdered, they were killed. Some people say
Big viaduct
by
in front of me.
Catholics during the time that Protestants were fighting Catholics in this country, just after King Henry VIII had carried out the dissolution of the monarchy. Now, the Catholics left, the church changed denomination, and the bodies that were in the Two Lovers crypt disappeared. So come down here and I'll tell you the story, because this is what Chris Rea described as the Steel River. Look at this bridge. This is the stone bridge. Now they built a new iron bridge to try and replace this just up the river from here. It lasted no time at all, then it fell in the river, and that was the end of that, because they were going to pull this bridge down and they should never even think about it. This is living history, this bridge. However, the story, you know, there's an empty tomb in St Mary Magdalene's. Now we're going back to the early 1800s. A young lad was in love with a young girl, and the young girl was ill. She had a chest disease. We think it was cholera or something like that. And she said, please don't let me die in this hovel of a house that we had. So they brought her down here. Come down this little side path. Because it was looking up at the bridge, it said. And I think it's here. I think he brought her down to this very spot right here. Looking up at the bridge, they said, and what a thing to look at. Gorgeous looking bridge, the Steel River running by, and she was very, very ill. And what this guy did, he got a hold of his beloved, and
that pattern on there when you do
that's
that.
beautiful, beautiful. It's just beautiful. But he brought her down to the river's edge, and he mopped her brow with the water of the teas, and he said, I'm going to love you forever, you know. I'm going to love you forever. You do know that I'm staying with you and I'll never leave you. And she died in his arms, right here. Died in his arms. And because the guy loved her so much and knew he couldn't live without her, he just, holding her, walked into the river, slid below the water, and stayed with her. And when they found the bodies, they were still holding each other in an embrace. So the people who worked at St Mary Magdalene Church said, we should put them in the Two Lovers' tombs. And they did that. And ever since, along this riverbank, you keep seeing sight of a boy and a girl walking hand in hand, kissing, caressing. And some people, they always try and romanticize these things, but it's said that true lovers, if they come down here, feel as if they're being kissed or touched, or hands like rubbing down an arm or whatever. So we're going to go down along Two Lovers Walk and see if we get any of that. And I must say, late at night, this is something, mind.
It really is. Along here. Me.
And you're just literally 2 minutes away from the town centre.
Crazy, isn't
And
it?
you've got stories like that. Incredible. You're talking there.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. It's like carrying as well on the breeze, isn't it?
It is. How cool is that? Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from over here.
It does. But that's right in the middle of the river.
I know.
That is weird.
How amazing. What a start. Listen,
I can hear voices there.
I hear voices. I know there's cars in the background, but it's from here. The closer we get along here, the more you can hear the voices.
How is that?
The bridge was built by Bishop Skirlow, apparently, in 1440. So that bridge has been there, how many years? 600, 700?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Dear me.
Amazing.
And again.
Can you hear that, Tony?
I heard something there. You can hear a shout.
If anybody at home heard that, let us know. Watch out, because there's... It's so close, like they're 10 feet away from us.
It's like here.
Just here, I know. That's ridiculous.
That really is.
Because that is clear.
And that's here, in that water there.
Yeah, just here.
Whoa.
Well, the necromancer around here.
Whoa.
Look at the trees. Take your torch off, Ken.
That is strange, isn't it?
Can you see that, everybody?
You might be able to see it on the night vision, the body cam.
Just there's
It's like when you use a water wheel on you know, like a disco light you use sometimes, and there's a water wheel. That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
It does.
Like a watery, wavery.
I just think that's incredible. Because we've got our torches in the water.
Yeah. That is crazy.
That's mad. I hope somebody's catching that.
Oh, get that on the night cam.
I've got voices again up ahead.
Right. Somebody saying, what, use a necromancer already?
Oh, the necromancer, yeah. Just we had a bit of interference before. Can you pick up the slack?
Might be worth you going in front, Penny, because otherwise you just...
Yeah. Go
I'll
for it,
in
mate.
front. What, do you need this torch then?
No, switch it off.
Sure.
Yeah, pass it off.
Turn that one off. He says. Or maybe not. Bloody leaves again everywhere.
There's so much kit these days.
Look, when head waiting for when the building as well.
Yeah, we're heading towards a building that has got an amazing history, and we're heading in there soon enough.
Half a mile.
But in the meantime, let's get the necromancer doing,
7 million
working to the
bricks.
maximum.
So it's gone there. 7 million bricks to build that. Look at it.
I'm looking for two lovers. Yeah, lovers. She just said lovers. Did you hear that? Hello. Hello. Talk to us.
No, this has got
Talk
serious
to us.
now, like. This is real.
We're doing the
Because
two lovers
I've
walk.
got no rent at all. I've got trees that are overhanging above us. And it gives you like a
Hi.
complete arch above you. So you're like enclosed on both sides. With
Were you about
blackness.
here?
I've got a river literally 2 yards from us on my right hand side. And I don't want to be falling into
Busy
that
here, isn't it?
at all. Left hand side is a
You feeling
wall,
that, Tony?
so you've just got
Freezing
no
cold all of a
option
sudden.
dark black path.
It's been mild tonight, but there's just that. Is that you guys? He. Where's your beloved? You wouldn't let her go.
Still hear voices.
Speak to us. Did you stay with your woman? Yes. Good.
Winds just blowing through the branches of the trees as well, making it even more eerie.
Of course, there's
noises.
also a huge viaduct here.
And there can't be
I
anything
don't know
there,
whether
it's a
you
river.
saw it
It's
before.
a
You'll
wide
see it
river
far
as
better
well.
when
So
we come out of
there's no
the
way
True
there could
Lovers
be
Walk.
anyone or anything down there.
But on the day the viaduct was built, it was finally finished. Before it was open to the public, somebody jumped off to their death. And as recently as a few years ago, a senior police officer chose to take his life here. And there's been so many other stories of people leaping from that. And that adds to the fact that this particular area is haunted.
Again, to the right
Is
hand
anyone
side
with
where
us?
the river is.
Are you with us? Kenny,
Yeah.
you need to stay a bit closer, mate.
Okay.
Why did you take your life when your lover died? Die, I know you died. Why did you take your life? Of course. We know you love her. You stayed with her on the other side.
Fish. That's a fish.
I heard fish too. You went in with a fish. That's for sure. You can hear words much clearer with this mic, can't you?
You definitely can. That sounded like I died there.
Yeah. You said yeah.
Yeah.
Are you proud that they named the? Are you proud? Are you proud they named this area, this walkway, after you two? Yes.
Yes. That was clear, that.
And your bodies are entombed in the church. You getting that? Freezing.
Freezing cold here. It's freezing here anyway. It just all of a sudden.
But it was mild when we came down
Yeah,
here.
it was lovely.
Ooh,
That's freezing here.
just cold.
Cold blasts straight round here. That's weird.
Amazing. I thought we did well with that.
I think you did very well with that.
Might as well try a one of our, see if there is anything picked up here.
Especially here, in this area here.
Because we're getting the cold
Yeah, just here.
just here. In fact, it's actually a bit closer
It is.
over there.
It is.
I'm not going to question about it.
But over here.
Let's see what we get. No sign so far.
I'll guarantee it's here.
You see it's there?
I think it's here. Just freezing cold here.
And we're getting cold moving around us.
Yeah.
Presence detected, hang on. We're getting a message from something here. Yeah.
Just here,
Yeah.
next to the water.
Right next to the water, just here. And what's the message? You are unsettling everything.
Oh my God, that's not good.
From a lost spirit, it says.
We're unsettling everything. I don't think that's.
We're
a good
not
sign.
aiming.
No.
We're not aiming to do that.
No, not at all.
Just have you looked into that river? Just how amazing it is.
Oh, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's just like. Go on. Oh, what's that? Hang on, let's just. I'll put in the river.
Just I'm getting something here.
Just in the river.
Not even the river, just here. Let's see. Right.
Something touched the zebra.
Something touched
I'm
you.
guessing it was a leaf.
There are leaves falling. No question about it.
I'm guessing that was a leaf that fell there. Something just touched my hand.
Yeah? Could have been. There's some about. And that
be
just,
a leaf.
you know, it's not windy here at all.
No, it's
And
not.
yet I'm feeling really
Oh,
cold
it's
breezes.
It's freezing here. Just here, it's freezing.
I'll take the torch, Ken, thank you.
Cool.
Get up ahead so that we
Yeah,
can
I
you
can-
can get a clear view, but stay within about 10
Right.
metres or so.
Okay.
Or feet are yards, because I'm old school. Picnic place maybe down here.
Be careful,
I know, man.
because you're right next to the edge there.
Yeah, see it. The water looks red, or is that just me?
It's a strange colour, mind, isn't
Come
it,
and have a
down
look
here?
at this. Tony, come and have a look.
Like I saw red there when you put your torch there.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Looks like it's
What's that with then?
blood soaked.
What is that with?
Wait, it can't be with any. How do you make an entire river red?
That's crazy, that.
It looks even
It's like
more.
a reddy brown, yeah.
Look at that. I know there's been a lot of.
I heard a squeak over the other side. You hear that?
You can...
Yes.
Over there,
Did you hear it?
yeah.
Like a screech again?
There's something out there. What's that, in the water?
I think it's just a leaf, isn't it?
Is it a leaf? Branch.
One of the stories about this place, this area of Yarm, was attacked by the Scots and savaged on 5 separate occasions. On the 5th occasion, it was led, the Scots came down here led by Robert the Bruce, of all people, and it said that the people of Yarm, were so desperate to escape, instead of fighting, they poured from the town, which is the next street along, a street called Westgate, it used to be the main street of Yarm. They poured from their homes to escape the Scots, and they ran into the river. But the river at that time was ravaging, it was raging, because there'd been floods and heavy rain. And more people died of drowning in the river than were killed by the Scots. But explain to me how that water is now not red.
That is crazy.
Explain to me how that's not red now. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's not red anymore.
How's that then?
How is
And all
that
of a sudden,
possible?
You know, you've seen there's no wind before, look. All of a sudden it just went,
Yeah, I can see the movement. You can
The
see the
wind.
movement on the
you
water
can
as
feel
well.
it.
But the
How's
water's now watercolour.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
not red.
No, it's not.
How? How's that possible?
I have no idea. That is just absolutely crazy.
I presume that's you beeping.
Weird
Kenny.
things happened.
It's not you. Oh. Pothole.
Oh, don't.
Watch your step. It's moles. That's a mole hill there.
The mole only lives in a hole.
I've just put my foot in it.
Right, so I'll just step out
Yeah, step out.
10 metres in front.
See what you say.
I'll turn
Or
my
feel.
torch
Or
off
see. Tell us all.
so you can see
Can't
properly.
explain that water. What can make a river look like it's running red and then not? How? Just think of the physics of that amount of water. Bizarre.
Jesus, nearly went.
Come on, let's rock on. Come on, let's put a spurt on and we'll try and get to that cemetery because time's pressing and we've got to get to we've got a brilliant building from 1822 to come and visit. But we had to come across here because there's so many stories. I want to see those starstruck lovers walking. Oh, God. Just... What are you seeing at home?
There's noises here.
Can you see that, Tony? Oh, look at that. As soon as I mentioned it, the trees start to shed just in the distance.
Bit of a dark something.
Shadowy thing.
Yeah.
That's wild. I hope somebody at
Very
home's
strange.
seeing that. Yeah, there's another one in between the trees. You see it?
Mhm.
Oh, there's two figures in the distance.
Blackness.
I wanted to see two figures. That's
Just
two
to your
figures.
left. Just here.
You always wonder if there's some kind of natural explanation, but that was pretty good. Two dark shapes, Kenny, down the path.
Seriously, there's noises here.
Noises. What you getting?
There's just like rustling noises just next to me here
Right.
in the trees.
You've got to be careful because we're walking in a lot of...
We are, but that's not that.
in the glorious River Tees. Another big river. So close to it. Have you seen how close the river is?
I know. I'm saying you could quite easily just walk into there, couldn't you, and fall.
But it's not red.
Get that. No, it's not red.
Whoa. Whoa.
Go on.
Shine up there. Oh, I think it's something
Is that a sign?
reflective, I think.
Yeah.
I just saw the glimpse of something.
It is a sign, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm hoping it is. Dear me.
Just, we've walked, for like 15, 20 minutes. And we've heard a ton of history that I bet most people in Yarm don't even know.
They wouldn't have a clue, would they? No, they wouldn't have any idea.
That's why we do that stuff on Robson's World. We try and let people know what's on
That's
in
best
their own
way.
backyard, pretty
Yeah.
much.
It's the only
Look
way
at
you're going
this,
to
look at
learn.
this.
It's the best way to learn history. Most entertaining.
Jeepers.
Look at that expansive water there, man.
But could you imagine if you're running away, trying to get away from the
you
Scots,
you
and
wouldn't.
this was in flood?
You wouldn't make it, would you?
You'd
You
never
just-
get across there.
Nah, you'd never
You'd
get
have to be a hell of
across
a swimmer.
there. How's that there?
What's what?
What's that? Just a...
Almost looks like a seat, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It really does.
Right, let's get to that church.
So we're going to a graveyard now, are we?
I think it's looking at the time. It's coming on
Yeah.
to
We're
when.
going to go the other way. It's the night vision, wasn't it? At this corner.
Yes. Can we still do that? We'll go to the cemetery.
Yeah.
We'll see you in about 15 minutes time, or 15, 20 minutes time, Ken.
Right, back at the...
When we get to that sign, You just keep going,
Right.
and Tony and I'll go up to the cemetery,
Okay.
and we'll meet you back
I'm well happy with that.
at the hall. Is that all right?
I'm well happy not having to go in the cemetery. Yeah?
The way you're going, it does say danger, keep out.
Oh, that's maybe not so great then.
Something like that.
He's just a rebel and he'll never be any good.
I'm the key man.
As the crystals want. That's it is true. You're going to let us in.
I've got the key. I've got the
But to have
secret.
this so close to a high street, it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, you just, I mean, this is the thing, and loads of people will not take the time to come down here and see this, will they? And know about what's happened here. They'll not have a clue.
It's amazing. There's the church we're going to. Just through there. Just we can't climb over the spiky wall, but there's the church. Light it up, Ken.
Glad you're going to
Church. There you go.
it. Glad you're in the graveyard.
Graveyard
Makes a
shift.
change.
Been on the graveyard shift all my life.
Yeah.
Right, so you're going to be all right along here. Be careful. Watch your step, man.
I'll be fine, he says.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
There's that. Oh, did you hear that?
What was that?
Like a growl.
It was like, I thought it was,
Wow.
I thought it was actually, I thought it was you just going,
No. No, I've just gone.
Yeah.
That's what it was from there, where you're going.
oh, don't.
Well, that's where it came from. It was up here.
Oh man, don't.
And hey,
Oh,
you can imagine two young lovers sitting down there, having a picnic, watching the
look at that water, man.
watching the river flow, as Bob Dylan once said for money.
Banks of the river. Who wrote that again? Was River Banks or something? Was that Rudyard Kipling? I've no idea.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Ken.
Neither am I.
We're meandering again.
We are.
We're allowed to do that.
That is a sign, look, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Footpath closed ahead.
Great.
Voices?
Again, to the right, where
Voices.
the river is. It's
Where the
always
river
where
is.
the river is. Do you know what it sounds like? As if someone's on a little boat on the river.
There's
Two
nobody-
people like just sort of maybe,
Following
paddling up
them.
there. Yeah. It's weird.
That's where it came from, though.
Heard that growl.
They heard the growl.
Yeah.
There you go. So we went sort of just, imagining it. It is happening. Oh, look at that man underneath there.
Makes it almost look like the ground you could imagine
Does, doesn't it?
running down there and then coming across, because that's water. Right, Kenny.
That's a strange noise.
Good
isn't
luck. We'll see you in 25 minutes.
it? So where am I going?
You're
Along here?
going along there
Right.
and then joining
Uh-huh.
us back.
Look how close you are to the river, man.
You could certainly
This is
have
ridiculous.
flown down here.
Look
If you
at
came
that.
down that alley in a bike,
Look
you'd be
at
straight
that.
off the end here.
Straight off. That's so close to just, you're walking in the water. That is
Can you hear that?
it's like a gurgling.
I thought you were wetting yourself.
It's like a gurgle noise.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
It's there, is it?
There's water running in from here.
Ah, right. Swans have gone.
I can't stand next to that for any length of time, otherwise I'll be needing to pay a visit.
Right.
Get to a certain age.
So I'm going along here.
Apparently so.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it actually even a footpath?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Look, it's another mile, Kenny, at least.
What? Are you
Oh,
sure?
goodness me.
Enjoy the graveyard.
Thank you. Yeah, we're coming up here. Again, the Lover's Walk goes around in a circle. And it comes up here.
I'm not sure that this is even...
Turn Kenny's mic off so we won't hear a splash. Here's a body cam mic.
Right, and the you'll get all of that footage when the time comes, but we're going to tell the greatest story of courage you have ever heard in your life. So make sure you share, please, and you'll get yourself one of our badges and a few other bits and bobs that we find lying around. Nice little goodie bag for you. So get ready for that, but you've got to come up here first. Come on, let's march up this narrow path. Yeah. Starting to feel it a bit. You know, we told you about the viaduct. There it is, straight ahead. I hope you can make it out with the lights of the street that we're going to be walking into any second. Here is the street. Now here we are. Now I want to take you back to an amazing time. 1762. 1762. King George II, right? Now, back in those days, the kings went into battle with armour and swords. And England, Britain, particularly northern soldiers, went across to Europe to fight the French alongside Hanoverian troops and Austrian troops, because the royal family were, and still are, essentially German. So, they're going over there to face the French. 70,000 French. Picture that. St. James's Park, full. You know, full. Plus 20 more thousand people. It's a lot. 70,000 French, 50,000 Allied troops. They knew it was going to be hard. They knew they probably would not survive. Come into my cemetery. We'll tell you the tale while we're looking around, because I want to introduce you to the bravest man in history so far that I've ever heard about. This guy was born in Redcar. However, he became an apprentice cobbler here in Yarm. At the time, Yarm was the biggest, most important port on the River Tees. More important than any other Teesside town. There were shipbuilders, nailers, riveters, brewers. It was the place to be, Yarm. And he was a apprentice cobbler right here. And he joined the army to go off and fight with King George II. And in a particular battle in Austria, 50,000 Allied troops took on the 70,000 French, and the battle went horrifically wrong, very badly wrong. Now, it all started to go pear-shaped when a Frenchman captured the king's standard. Not just the flag of England or Austria or Hanover, the English king's flag, the royal standard. And once this Frenchman had it, he rode into the French lines, waving it about, saying, "You are defeated." And it made a lot of the Allies drop their heads. They started to retreat, they started to run away. And of course the French were behind them, hacking away, trying to finish them off. So one man, who used to be an apprentice cobbler here in Yarm, his name was Tom Brown, he decided to jump on a horse and race into the French lines to get the standard back. 2 horses were killed under him. Each time he fell, he got up, killed a Frenchman on a horse, took his horse and rode after the standard. He didn't stop there. He got so close to the standard, he was reaching out for it when a Frenchman slashed him with his sabre and took off 3 of his fingers. And it didn't stop him. He got back on his horse and he rode back towards the guy carrying the English king's standard. He grabbed the flag, killed the Frenchman, stuck the flag down his tunic into the saddle, and he turned to try and get back to the Allied lines, and he saw a few hundred French horsemen in his way. And he thought, to hell with this. And he just charged at them, waving his sabre, hacking away at people. They were hacking at him, but he was hacking away at them. And he killed, it's thought, between 20 and 30 Frenchmen on the way through. Now, although he was doing that amount of damage, he had serious sabre slashes to his face, his neck, the top of his head, and most of his nose was cut off. And it didn't stop him. He was carrying the royal standard, and he rode and he rode and he rode. And eventually, 2 bullets in his back, 3 bullets through his helmet, he made it to the edge of the French lines, and he broke into the ground between the 2 forces. When the Allies saw him, they did what they did at that time when they were proud of their hero. They shouted, "Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!" And he got back to the English lines, and you would think, how amazing. But it didn't stop there. He turned around and he said, "Okay, boys, we can have this lot. Come on!" And he started racing back towards the French. The French were shaken, seeing this guy full of holes, full of cuts. Do you hear voices and stuff here?
Something over there.
So anyway, they rode back, and all of those retreating English and Allied troops turned around and raced into the French and defeated them. The Battle of, I think it was Dettingen it was called. One of the great battles of all time with a true hero. And the reason I mention it is, Tom Brown was the last man, he was just a private, but the king came up to him in the battlefield and knighted him. And he was the last person ever to be knighted in a field of battle. And after that battle was over, he was badly injured, bullets in him and scars and no nose. He came back here, where the king came to see him. And the king presented him with a gold-topped cane, a replacement nose made out of silver, can you what? And 30 crowns a year pension, which is roughly £30, which back then was like 30, 50 grand a year. This was big money for a soldier back then. He was one of the great heroes, and he's here, and I'd love you to meet him. If I can find him. I think he's up here somewhere. Have I missed him? He's up here somewhere, isn't he? I think so. Oh yeah, there he is. I see you, Tom. Now there it is. This is his grave. He was in the Regiment of Dragoons, the Battle of Dettingen, and it's said that if you touch this man's grave, you're supposed to feel the pain that he felt as he was fighting his way through the French lines. I don't think you would do that to me, but it's my honour to be with you, Thomas. And thank you for all you did. You're a bravest man I've ever known. Bravest man I've ever had the honour to be with. Amazing. What a story. And with his 30 crowns, he opened up a tavern on what is now the High Street in Yarm. It's no longer a tavern. It's 2 houses side by side, apparently. They've added another soldier's grave here, the Royal Regiment of Artillery. And what a place to be. His family still send their love. You can see the tribute. But what a place for Paul to be next to two heroes together. Just beautiful. And this is, again, one of those places that's just incredible. It's got a real feel to it. If you guys catch anything on camera, share it with us, please, because we're heading to our main site next. If you're about, Thomas, would you like to say anything? In fact, I'm going to sit down here and put the... Oh. Let's try. If there's anyone here, talk to us. Talk to us. You know that darkness, Tony? You know that darkness we talk about? Look at this. I don't know whether you can make it out. Hope you can. Just like a moving darkness behind that tree.
Saw a couple of shadows behind there.
I know, that's what I mean. Right. Shall we try and head back? Because we've got our...
Yeah, people are asking if we're going inside. We are.
The main event is ahead of us. But we're there now. Come on, let's go and do it.
If Penny isn't there, then we're going to have to go look for him.
You'll be there. Oh. Oh, that was creepy. Just saw something dark move about a bit. Just over at the far wall. Right, this way. Definitely this way. But what's round the corner from here? Well, it's a place that so many people have come to do a ghost hunt, and we're pretty much there. It's just here. It's It's a building called the Fellowship Hall. And a lot of ghost groups have done this. I've researched history by the score. So you better start sharing this. Share this as much as you possibly can right now. Win yourself the prize and feel proud that you're helping us cracking on. Fellowship Hall do all kinds of things. Not saying whether I need this at all. I'm working hard, hopefully not. I want to meet this woman, Sweaty Mama. I want to meet her. And they had some of this on today. John and Janet of Dance Temptation. A bit of salsa going on here too. This is the Fellowship Hall in Yarm. Now, we're going to wait for Kenny to get us in. Oh, you... Oh, shoot.
I got my own back. Because honestly, I was walking for miles down there and it was
Was it horrible?
awful. Just walking at the dead end, you're thinking, how do you get back up here?
Shoot.
Well happy.
That was fun. And here we are, we're in.
1 inch.
Now, all of the ghost groups that come in here say that they get all kinds of things. If you come in, I'll put a snack on so that we can't be joined. Oh wow, look at this.
Look at the branches I walked through, and I was that close to the river. Seriously, you walk along that and you're that close, slipping. Horrible. There's no way up, so I had to go back again.
This is amazing. This is the Fellowship Hall. They've had seances here. They've done Ouija boards. They've had a lot of incredible responses. There's this room. There's a room next door, and there's a small office upstairs that apparently is really haunted. And we were told that under the stage, don't know whether you can...
That's just a foot on the stage. Yeah.
No, but the guy who...
I think that there's a mark there. Maybe that's...
Oh, that could be it. A born-again Christian group put a walk-in font under the stage at one point, which is amazing. So, we're going to take a... Oh, look at that, stairs on the way up as well. Fantastic. Oh, look at this place. Oh, we've got to check this place out solidly, haven't we? What is this? And is that to where we go?
Straight ahead.
This door? Really?
Have you got the light on you, Kenny? It's not switched it on. Oh, there it is. Oh, don't know what's happened to it. Oh, it's off.
Oh,
Seriously, that's strange.
was it on?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It was on.
It's a bit strange.
Is it back on now?
I've just put it on now, yeah.
That's weird. That's never happened before.
You've got to actually literally switch the button in for 5 seconds for it to go on.
I never noticed it was on when I was talking before.
So through.
That wasn't picked up.
And this is the area where we set up earlier, because we haven't been in any of the other rooms other than this.
Yeah, we need to get Gwen out.
We've got to set up. So shall we make this the half, Tony?
Well, we need to do a bit in here, don't we?
No, absolutely, 100%. Oh my goodness, what a place. So we're going to set up the dolls. Get the REM pod busy.
Hi everyone, I'm Gwen.
Take them off the office.
Yeah, upstairs.
He said that was the whole most didn't he?
Yeah,
The office?
upstairs. We'll put them
Kenny, you
upstairs.
take him to the office.
Have we got the balls as well?
Yeah, I've got the camera. We'll have to.
Right.
We're going to lock a camera on them too, are we?
Yeah, we've got a camera. Yeah.
Right, office, definitely.
Okay.
And let me tell you about this wall. Amazing. The only ghost story in this place, apart from a curse that I'll tell you about later. Look at this wall. See how beautifully painted it's been. It used to be plastered. It was smooth. And when they took over this building and they wanted to dude it up, they sent the guys in to take the plaster off the wall and get it down to brick so they could replaster it again because the plaster was knackered. And they got all the plaster off and it was lying on the floor, and they went home that night. And when they came in the next morning, on the floor, remember the place was locked all night, the plasterers and painters were in. When they came back on the floor, in the plaster, there were loads of tiny children's footprints running around. Spirits of dead children running around on the plaster. So they thought, stuff that, we're not going to plaster that, just paint it and let's get out of here. And that's what they did, and that's why the wall is beautifully white painted. But that happened right here. So that's why I decided I was going to set up the traps in here. Nothing happening. Be interesting to see if this guy's still moving. I can tell you that he is. He's not stopped.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I can see that from here.
Oh my God. That's definitely moving.
That's copper. That's a healing pendulum. And you can use them to, if you've got part of you that's in pain, it's supposed to work by, because it's copper. But it shouldn't move.
That is moving.
Yeah, it doesn't stop moving. There's one more tale about this place that we have to tell you. And it's from this area here. Now, will it? Yes, it will. This area here, you've got a building there. That's the new building, 1897. This building here, this bit, 1822. And you had this area in the middle that at one time, we think, used to belong to the school next door. So it was playing fields where little children, remember the plaster? Mm-hmm. Where little children used to play. However, in the 1600s, long before this place was even thought of, well, it's just a car outside it.
Yeah.
Or the trains. Or the two
Could be could be a train probably. But this whole area, everybody knows of Yarm Fair. It still happens to this day. But this whole area here, because it was so close to the main road, the road leading past St. Mary Magdalene's Church, the one we've just been on, that whole area was the main street. And this area off to the side, leading all the way down to the river, was where the fairground used to be. And they had dancing bears, dancing dogs, cattle shows, sheep shows, pig shows, all of those kind of things. Jugglers, jesters, all making a little bit of money at Yarm Fair. Now, they also had fortune tellers. And on this ground, a member of the local aristocracy, a lord who had a mansion house on the outskirts of town, came to this fortune teller. Her name was Sharona, not my
Sharona.
Sharona. And she had a knack. She definitely had a knack of telling people's fortunes. So this local royalty, aristocrat, went up with his woman to get a reading. And the reading she gave him was that because he was pompous, because he was unpleasant, because he was obviously a nasty person, he was going to lose his wife, he was going to lose his children. And this guy, if you're wealthy, you want it all your own way. At least that's my experience of the wealthy, the very wealthy. He didn't get it all of his own way. So he got hold of the woman, got his men to get hold of the woman, and throw her out of town. But before she was thrown out of town, actually thrown into the river, she cursed the man and said, I will be back next year but you shall not. And the following year, the man was dead, and within that 12-month period, 11 members of his family died.
Hell.
Now, whether that was a real curse or 11 coincidences,
You wouldn't think so.
it seems a tad far-fetched. But when people say this area is cursed, I kind of shrug my shoulders and go, yeah, because you do. But maybe there's some weight to these things, you know. Did you hear that?
Little sort of whimper here. Just there.
Just there. So share, everybody.
Just there.
We're going to separate. It's been amazing so far. We've had little bits of all kinds. We saw the shadows of two lovers. I think it was two figures side by side.
Right.
Up the.
Did you get anything in the graveyard?
Just the story, really.
Right. Right.
We got a little bit of moving blackness in the distance. I would love to hear what the people at home, and obviously if you become a supporter, you get all the bits from everybody, and you get Kenny's bit and whatever happens in here, because we're just starting. We're right at the very beginning. Who knows what we're going to get? If you want to stay with us, how do they do it, Tony?
Yeah, if you're a supporter, just hit the become a supporter button on Facebook.
We'd love you to.
On YouTube, just join and everything will be there for you.
And don't forget, if you do that, you get all of the previous shows and all of the extras. And if you've seen the shows and you've liked them, and you've just never seen the second half of any of them, blimey, we've had amazing things happen. Don't know whether we'll get it tonight, whether we do or whether we don't. We'll be out next week making sure that we try and find some more for you. So please help us out. It's the only way we can keep going with your support. So please support us if you can. Join us on the other side. Until then, hopefully you will. Or till next time, from Tony, Kenny and I, good night, God bless you, and I wish you well. But for those of you that are loyal, steadfast and true, we will see you on the other side.